Hello, friends. Welcome to all of you for 369 days of global peace meditation to save animals and to go vegetarian, my dear friends. It is a project started with intention to create happy and peaceful world where all animals are respected and treated with kindness and compassion. So we have a daily meditations for 369 days, my dear friends. So please do join our meditations at 5:30 a.m. UK time and join this great mission to stand up for animals. Together, we can transform this planet Earth into a heaven to live. So, as part of this weekend wisdom sharing sessions, we have Shravya Maulika from India. Shravya is a wonderful meditation master from India. She does a lot of activities in PSSM, especially she works for PSSM websites, my dear friends. And we used to work together for PSSM websites. And she's a very good friend of mine. She has very profound meditation experiences, and she has a lot of psychic abilities, and she used to share her profound meditation experiences whenever we used to talk with each other. And she can see and talk with enlightened masters like Mahavatar Babaji, Anashya, and she has given hundreds of meditation sessions, online and offline meditation sessions, my dear friends. And she has read more than 200 books. She extensively worked for Pyramid Project. Pyramid Project. She's helping everyone she's educating everyone, and she's helping everyone, reaching out to everyone and telling the importance of pyramids, my dear friends. So let's all join together in Shravya. Shravya, over to you. Yes, Shravya.
Hi, Sri Lakshmi, and hello to all the online viewers here. So, first of all, my pranamas to my Guruji Patriji, and I would like to thank PMC UK and PSSM Global, and especially Sri Lakshmi for giving such a wonderful opportunity. And it's a great opportunity for me to be a part of this global peace yagna. So, friends, as we all know, PSSM has got mainly three pillars. First is meditation, second is vegetarianism, and third is pyramid power. So, through this session, I would like to share all the wisdom that I have got and all my experiences towards with the topic of vegetarianism. Globally, in the calendar, if we see, there are always been special dates. Like personally, if we see, there are birthdays, there are anniversaries. Some people celebrate even the death dates. And we see there are some important days like, Mother's Day, Father's Day. We have Gandhi Jayanti. Every 25th of December, we celebrate Jesus Christ. Then also there are some days where we celebrate books like World's Books Day, World's Yoga Day, World's Meditation Day. So all these days signifies the importance of either a particular person who has contributed a lot towards the planet Earth, or it signifies a particular topic, the importance of a particular section. Similarly, there is another important day which is celebrated on October 1st every year, which is World's Vegetarians Day. Why is there so much of importance on this day? And this day is actually celebrated worldwide, just like any other day, any other important event or day. And as I said, vegetarianism is one of the main pillars of PSSM. So why it has got so much of importance? So today, first let's understand why vegetarianism, how it impacts the three entities of a being, which is body, mind, and soul. Here, always we speak about meditation, but even before meditation comes vegetarianism. I am born in a family where, we are basically all vegetarians. So definitely, I did not go through a struggle of, transforming myself from a non vegetarian to vegetarian. But it also The credit goes to all the people who are, born in a vegetarian family. Definitely the credit goes to their intensive punya karma which they have done in their past lives. Otherwise, it is impossible to be born in a vegetarian family directly. And of course, certain masters choose to take birth in a non vegetarian family so that they can transform themselves as a vegetarian, and then they can show themselves as an example, living example to all the beings, and help others transform in their journey by setting up as a live example. So, first, let's see how does eating non vegetarian food impacts our body. We all know that primarily, this human body is structured and designed in such a way that it can actually only consume vegetarian food. Like one example, one representation of that is our nails, they are absolutely flat, they are not sharp. Generally, we see the sharp nails in animals so that they can hunt and they can eat the food, they can eat the hunted food. And also our teeth. Generally, we see in animals they have got sharpened teeth so that they can actually eat the meat food. So, our structure, including our digestive system and our inside system, is structured in a way that it can only digest a proper vegetarian meal. But unfortunately, there are people on this earth who also consume non veg food. So, what happens when a person eats a non veg food? It takes a very long time for it to get digested. A simple vegetarian food meal which gets digested within few hours, there on the other side, a non-vegetarian food takes even more than a day to get digested. You may know or you may not know, but it takes a longer period of time. And when an animal is cut, when an animal is brutally murdered, during the process of that unnatural death, all that pain, all the pain that animal goes through gets stored inside its body, its skin, its muscles. And when a person consumes a non-veg food, all that pain gets transferred to the person who's consuming it, and all that pain is stored in the bones of the human being. And when a body is not well, definitely it impacts the mind a lot to a greater extent. Hence, the body and the mind both are not proper. To explain the same concept in a different way, we all know that we are seven bodies. And the second body of ours is emotional body. So this emotional body, which is also called as etheric body, has got Nadi mandalas inside it, which is also called as the etheric tubes or energy tubes. So this energy tubes has actually got a flow of energy inside it. So when basically a person is meditating, he says that, my ailments are healed, my cancer is healed. Previously, I used to have BP and sugar, that got healed. The science behind it is when a person sits in meditation, the primary body which takes the direct intake of cosmic energy is the second body, which is the etheric body. So the energy body, the etheric body, through the energy tubes, it takes the cosmic energy. And when the cosmic energy flows into all the energy tubes, and slowly it removes all the diseases, it removes the energy patches or energy blockages. So when there's a free flow of energy, the same gets reflected on the physical body. And thus, slowly he or she sees that, the ailments are actually going. So the root cause is of a disease is there is a energy blockage in the energy body. So when a person consumes a meat, what happens? That entire negative energy, that low energy, that fear, everything, it causes blockage in the emotional body. And thus, because of which he experiences physical pains, he experiences diseases in the physical body. So the root causes there is a energy blockage. So once when a person, quickly just, quits non-vegetarian then and there, he sees a great leap of transformation in his health. So that is how, if we look at the science, this is what is happening behind a person's knowledge that, the second body is actually getting damaged. The emotional body is getting damaged because of the meat consumption. So as the body, so is the mind. So mind will also get agitated. The third thing is the soul. So every being has got a lifespan to live from the day of birth to the day of death. So when it dies an unnatural death, that is when it is murdered by a person for the need of, the human beings, what happens? The remaining life that it has to live, it is actually getting blocked. However, the animal will take another birth and it will finish its lifetime in the due course of the events. But because in one of its lifetime it has been, murdered, what happens? The progress of the particular animal has been stopped, because of which it adds on to the karma. So a person who kills the animal, a person who sells it, a person who buys it, a person who, cooks it, a person who serves it, and a person who eats it, all the beings take the equal share of karma for the death of the animal. A person may say, I'm just eating. If I stop eating, also, still, the animals will be killed. But at least you will no more share any karma for the animal's death. So, if when we are a part of stopping somebody in their soul's progress, what happens? It even impacts our soul's progress. For example, I'll tell you, when I came newly into meditation in the year 2007, what happened when I started meditating? After few days, I started experiencing a lot of itching in my body. And I was wondering what could have happened. I have never harmed anybody or nor I'm even a non-vegetarian. Then why is it, it's happening this way? Then one day I just put a question to myself when I sat in meditation, saying, what is it that is causing all the problems for me, the all the itching sensation and which was actually going on for a few months. And that day in my meditation, I have seen that in one of the very previous lifetimes, I was born in a Muslim family. And there, as a part of the culture, I had non-veg. I have seen all the animals, the animals which I ate, they all were there in a room caged. I just went to all the animals and I said, please forgive me for all the things that I have done in my ignorance. And right from, that experience has happened, just within few days, I saw that all the itching sensations were gone in my body. So you see, something which I had actually in one of my past lives, how it started coming, to the surface in this lifetime. And also I see arguments between many people, and even, out of ignorance, when I came newly into meditation, I used to heavily go and tell everybody that, please be vegetarians, otherwise you'll suffer a lot in your later time. And they used to say, see, even you're a vegetarian, I'm a non-vegetarian, we both are eating, but I don't see any suffering in the body. But the science behind it is, whatever you do, a good karma or bad karma, for that thing to come to surface, like for example, I have done a 10 percentage of, good karma. Now for me to reap its benefits, I have to do 90% more of good karma. Only when my pot of good karma becomes 100%, only then I will reap all the fruits of it. Similarly, a person, you may see a person that always having non-veg. And there's some people who think that why is nothing happening to them? See, the basic fundamental thing is we only have to preach that, don't do that. Because whatever we do, sooner or later, we have to pay for it. As I gave the example, even it is applicable for the bad karma also. If a person is eating, non-vegetarian, after a point of time when the pot of the bad karma becomes full, he has to pay for it. That may happen in the same lifetime or it may happen in the next lifetime, but a person has to pay for always for the deeds that he has done. So when it comes to our soul's progress, a soul is not just for one lifetime, it is accumulation of many lifetimes. So even if you had non-veg in the past lifetimes or in this lifetime, you have to pay back to that. And it is so said out of, from many pyramid masters from whom I have heard, they said that through their own experience, once they have transformed into a vegetarian, it took almost 14 years for them, 10 to 14 years of time for them to come out of to cleanse their body completely, to heal themselves completely from the food that they had before they have transformed. So it takes a very long period of time for a person to completely cleanse themselves after they become vegetarian. So this immediately tells us the fact, the truth that once a person hears somebody or saying or reading somewhere that be a vegetarian, immediately they have to become a vegetarian. It's just not for this lifetime, but also for the lifetimes to come ahead, which are there ahead. Also, if we see, initially when I came into, even before I came into meditation, there were some glimpses which I remember where I used to see my aura. And my aura was always, it was blue in color. Once when I met Patriji in the initial years, he said, your aura is blue, but it has to become golden. So now let me tell you what are these colors of aura. So everybody according to their character, according to the work they do, the service they do, the kind of thought process they have got, the kind of energies they have got, they all have a color with which they are surrounded. So a blue color, if you see a blue color around the person, that represents the positivity inside them. If you see a white color around the person, it represents that they're absolutely pure beings. And if you see that a person has got golden aura, it means that they are great enlightened masters. So, when certain polygraphic tests were done, and when certain researches were done, and when certain photographs were taken, where you can actually, see the colors of the people, their aura, or the vibrations around, it was so calculated that when a person, before having a non vegetarian meal, the aura of a person was blue in color. And once the person has consumed the non vegetarian food, immediately when his aura was seen, it was black in color. Why black? Black represents the negativity. So, this negative aura or this negative impact, how does it come? With the pain. When an animal is killed, the pain gets released, and that forms, when a person eats it, that forms a black aura around him, and it forms the blockages in the etheric tube, as I said earlier. So, for a person to transform his aura from black to blue and blue to white and white to golden, first thing which is necessary is being a vegetarian. Now, also, since we are speaking very much about the food, let me also tell you the importance of eating garlic or not eating garlic. So, when I was, as I said, I was a born vegetarian. And even in my family, there was no, people never used to get garlic inside. But later, when I moved ahead with my life, with my career, so when I used to stay in hostels or when I used to go to outings with my friends, always garlic was there in one or the other food. And by then, I already came into meditation and I heard that we should not eat garlic. So now that was a real question in me, that should I eat garlic or should I not eat garlic? Because From some pyramid masters, I get to hear something. From some masters, I get to hear some other thing. So I wanted a confirmation before I leave anything that, was there a truth behind it or not? So, in the initial years again of my meditation journey, of my spirituality journey, of my initial days of PSSM, when I met Patriji, Guru Patriji, I asked him, Sir, there's so many sayings that, don't eat this, don't eat that. Now I'm really confused. Although I'm a vegetarian, now I want to know, are there any more rules that has to be followed? And then Patriji said that if you are very serious on your enlightenment, then quit garlic. Don't eat garlic again in your life, because garlic, although, if you look at the story from where the garlic has been formed, the garlic has been formed from a mixture of amruta and also the blood of a devil. So, although it has got a lot of medicinal properties, but also it has got the vibrations of the garlics will, you know, force you, or it will incline you towards eating non-veg food. So the moment Patriji said that if you're serious about your enlightenment, quit garlic, that was the moment I decided that I should not eat again. And I gave up garlic from that day. So see, if a food that is inclining you towards eating non-vegetarian, even if you have to quit that, then just see how important it is to be a vegetarian, to quit non-veg. Also, if we see, there are kinds of, we have gunas in us, like, tamasic gun, rajasic gun, and sattvic gun. All of us, whenever you see a tamogun, or suppose if I see a tamogun in myself, or, I identify it in others. Similarly, whenever we see a unwanted guna, okay, we always wish that we directly go to sattvic guna, we change to sattvic gun. So first, let's understand what actually forms tamasic gun, and what actually forms the rajasic gun, which is also called as tamogun, rajogun, and sattvic gun. So initially, when after, as I said, I came into meditation, I started listening to a lot of masters. I saw that there was some part of me had the tamogun, some part of me had a rajogun, and some part of me had a sattvic gun, and also there are some nirguns. So I desperately wanted to jump to, Sattvic Gun. Later, when I read a lot of books, I understood that Tamogun, Rajogun, or Sattvic Gun, it is formed over the lifetimes. And the main reason, or the only reason I would say, behind Tamogun and Rajogun is eating non-veg. Not in this lifetime, maybe you would have had in some lifetimes. So, because of that thing, that not the rightful act or eating habit which we had in our past lives, that has resulted in the formation of these gunas. And if a person wants to be, have sattvic gun, the first thing is, again, as I said, has to be a vegetarian. And there are some people, they may say, I'm already a vegetarian, but still I see some tamogun and some rajogun in me. Then the answer for that is do a lot of meditation and do a lot of service. Enlight all the beings around you. Pass the information of meditation, vegetarianism, and pyramid power. Only through these things, when you enlighten others, you grow to a greater extent. Now, if I go to, some of my experiences of my childhood, what happened once, I remember with my friends, with all of my friends, I went out, and there were my friends were both, vegetarians and non-vegetarians, and this was the chapter before I even entered, spirituality. So when we all went, I saw that, all the vegetarian people were ordering the vegetarian food, and all the non-vegetarian people were ordering non-veg food. So we had food, and I just started observing me when I saw some non-veg food, a slight inclination came that, maybe I should try it once, because I saw that one of my vegetarian friend was trying, she when a non-veg food was offered, she tried it. Excuse me. So Just a thought came in me. Okay, when they offered me, I said, no, I don't want to eat, and the chapter was closed. But after I came back, the thought came in me that what if I had the food? What if I ate the food? Then I came back home and I asked my dad that some these kind of scenarios happened and they offered some non-veg to me. So should I eat or should I not eat? And my father, he said, you know, he did not say he don't eat. He said it's your choice. If you want to go ahead and eat, you eat. He did not educate me on the importance of vegetarianism. Maybe because he himself didn't knew it so strongly that it should not be had. He said, I will never have in my life because I'm a ardent. I'm very strict with my principles, so I will not have. But in case you want to have in future, I will not stop you. So it was a go ahead from him. If you want to have, you have, or else don't have. Again, the same kind of situation came where we were all in, a lunch break and there were a mixture of food. Although I had freedom from my family members because I was very young then, and of course, family members' permission means a lot to us. So, although I had freedom from them, and although there was a non vegetarian food offered to me, it was in front of me and it was just, a spoon away. I decided, something from my inner said no, and I did not have it. So from where this did come? It all came from my past lives. Although in one of my past lives I did have non-vegetarian food, but later I was also a yogi in a lot of my past lives where I've done lots and lots of meditation. So my that meditation energy, the knowledge from my past lives, from my previous lives that non-veg food is not nice, all these things stopped me to eat. And I'm very glad that I trusted my instincts. I went with my gut feeling and I did not touch the food. Because even if I would have had one spoon of the food, it would have added a lot of karma. And again, I would have cleansed it, for which I should have done a lot of, service. So, friends, it's very important that the day you hear the statement, be a vegetarian, please be a vegetarian. Because finally, we have to bear the fruits of it. Also, I would tell you one more incident. In 2017, that means almost after 12 years of me coming into meditation, I met with an accident, a very minor accident, which actually led to a fracture in my leg. And then I had to undergo surgery, and it led to many things. And after the surgery happened, almost for the next 40 days, I was on bed, absolutely on bed rest. And every day I was suffering a lot. One day there was a fever, one day there were itching, some day there were allergies, some day there was vomiting, some day there was dehydration, some day there was an intense pain. For the next 40 days, I was only in pain, suffering, suffering, suffering. And after 41 days, some magic happened. And everything was smooth. My path was very clear. My direction was very clear. My goal was much more clear. So, what happened? I just analyzed. I was just thinking that what happened? I never harmed anyone. Then why I had to pay all these things? Then, when I was asking Patriji about all these things to enlighten me, he asked me to read some books at that point of time, like Illusion from Richard Bach. He also asked me to read Thinking and Destiny by Harold W. Percival. And also, there were some other books which he has recommended at that point of time. So, when I was reading all the books, and one more book is Echoes of the Soul. So, when I was reading all the books, I was able to correlate that although I haven't done anything in this lifetime which I can see, but I have I've given intense suffering to others in my past lifetime. And yes, of course, because of me being a meditator for a very long period of time in my past life, because of the good deeds, I have landed directly to Anapanasati meditation and into PSSM. But still, we have to always pay back our old karmas. So that's why, with one small, accident, with one 40 days of suffering and the surgery, I paid back for all the karmas which I have done in my past life. So this is again another example. I am a living example. My experiences are, a direct example, a direct proof for myself that Yes, we always have to pay back for our karmas. And eating non-veg is the highest karma a person can do because it is directly involved with the killing of another being. Now, I would like to highlight on one more thing. So, people ask that, is egg also a part of non-vegetarian thing? And many people laugh and they say, egg is a vegetarian thing. So, let me tell you, even the unfertilized eggs. So, eggs are the parts which are released by a female being. So, an egg, even an unfertilized egg, through the researchers, it was found when a polygraphic test was done and when some other test was done, they have recorded the electrical movements in an unfertilized egg. I'm not talking about a fertilized egg, I'm talking about an unfertilized egg. In an unfertilized egg, they have seen the electric impulses. And when they have done more researches, they found out that an unfertilized egg has got a heartbeat of 260 to 280 heartbeats per minute. So this proves that even an egg, okay, an unfertilized egg also has got life inside it. So we should not even eat eggs. And again, correlating to it, I would like to tell my own example, my own experience as an example. So when after in my entire childhood, I had cakes, I had pastries, and all those things which had egg. Once I was into PSSM, I was informed, I got the information that eggs are a strict no. Then I thought, okay, anyway, I'm not eating egg. Maybe once in a while, once in a blue moon, once in a year, in some birthday party, I have only this piece of cake. And me being an extreme food lover, I thought, why should I, say no to that one small piece of cake which has got some negligible amount of egg content inside it. So I thought, okay, let me just continue. It's okay, I got the information, but it may not harm me. And so once so happened that even after I got the information of, that egg should not be consumed, once what happened in my hostel, one of my friend's birthday was getting celebrated. So I went there at 12 o'clock. I had only a small piece of, cake and I came back. Suddenly I started seeing, there was some kind of uneasiness in my body. Then I was thinking, what's wrong? Why is there a lot of uneasiness? I had a dinner long time back. What is that which is causing uneasiness in my body? So I thought, okay, maybe something would have caused. Raat gayi baat gayi. When I wake up in the morning, nothing will be there. So I just slept. Morning when I woke up, that uneasiness was still there. I thought, okay, maybe by afternoon it will go. Afternoon I saw again it was there. Evening it was there. Then finally, of course, I could not do anything. I didn't eat much. And then finally I went to my aunt's house. My aunt, who again, through this platform, I would like to thank her. Her name is T.L. Rajeshwari. She's my direct aunt. She's a part of my family. And through her, I came into meditation. She taught me meditation. She got me into this movement and she introduced me to Patriji. So I would again, say my thanks to her. So because of her initial information and initial guidance, I am today like this. So evening when I went to my aunt's house, her home, I was just, she was asking, what are your plans for dinner? What should I cook for you? And I was telling, I don't want to eat anything because, there's some kind of uneasiness in my body. So she was just asking me, what did you have last? And when I was analyzing and, when I was just tracking back, I suddenly remembered that the last thing which I had was a small piece of cake. Then suddenly I heard a voice from my inner that no egg. I saw a clear vision which showed no egg. Then suddenly all the points, that PSSM has provided me till then that, egg should not be eaten even in a small quantity, everything just surfaced. And I felt like, yeah, egg should not be had, and I had it. The moment, that realization came, immediately all the uneasiness just went away within a fraction of period of time. Then I understood, okay, so this was a lesson my own body was teaching me, saying, don't eat egg, it is not suitable for the system. And that moment, that immediate moment, I decided, ki, okay, no more egg. I will quit cakes, I'll quit pastries, I'll quit all those bakery items which has got egg, but I will not eat again. Now in this state, yes, we have so many eggless, egg-free bakeries and all. But that time there was none, and it was really a hard test for me, to quit all those things. But I stood up with that, and I did not eat anything. And from there, I would say my real enlightenment journey, my real spiritual journey started. So, whenever it comes to being a vegetarian, whenever it comes to not eating garlic or not eating mushrooms or, not eating the microwaved food, all these are not choice. They are the principles which has to be followed. If we don't follow in this lifetime, there's definitely another lifetime where again we have to make the conscious and right choice. So it's always better to make the right choice, and stand with the principles in this lifetime itself when we have got such a great guru, Patriji, with us, when we have got support of so many pyramid masters with us. So finally, I'd like to end this session with by giving one more small example. So recently, of being a part of my current project, which is the 51 pyramids. So through this project, we actually, send pyramids throughout the world. So we have our own official website, which is 51pyramids.in, where people within India and apart from India, which is the rest of the countries, can come and, book the products, book pyramids, crystals, and all those stuff. And, it will be delivered to them. So I'm a part of this project from last 4 years. So through this website, there are so many helpline numbers, and every day we get so many calls from people, asking for guidance. And the guidance is just not about pyramids, but they also ask guidance about meditation, about vegetarianism. So, quoting one example from that, I would like to tell that just 2 months ago, a lady called me, and because she wanted some guidance on the pyramids. So, I've completely guided on her on pyramids, that which one she should use, what crystals she has to use. All the, call was over. The call was successfully done. And she said, I have one last, question. She said, I have started my 41 days of meditation, but it's almost been 25 days, and I'm not going to go, even not even for a single moment. I'm experiencing that, the state of going within. Not even for a single moment the thoughts went away, or not even for a single moment I have experienced that bliss. And she was saying, I don't know what's wrong. Then I was just telling her, it's okay, just keep meditating. Within 41 days, you'll definitely experience. And I was just giving her a guidance and push. Suddenly it struck me, and I asked her, are you a vegetarian? She said, yeah, yeah, I'm a strict vegetarian. I don't eat meat at all from my childhood. But still, I felt that, something was not right, because generally I don't dig much, but then I say just continue your 41 days, you'll experience it. But something from my inner didn't accept it. So I was just asking her, okay, so is your family a vegetarian? Then she said, no, my family is not vegetarian. The place where the person to whom I got married to, he's a non-vegetarian. My next question was, do you cook? She said, yes. Although I don't eat, I cook and I serve my husband and my children. That was the catch. And I immediately told her, don't do that. Don't cook non vegetarian for your husband and for your children, because even though you're not eating, but still you're a part of it, because you're cooking and you're serving. Not just that, even if you buy or you sell, or even you just bring that one packet from, the shop to here, you are playing a role in it, and hence you'll have your karma. Until and unless you stop it, you will never go deep inside yourself, even though you finish your 41 days. Or there may be a moment still you experience it, but unless until your pot, has holes, how will you store water inside it? So you have to quit non-vegetarian, only then you will go within. Then she said it's very tough, but Somehow I gave her the guidance, she took it, and through after all her struggles, after 2 days, she called me and she said, okay, finally I said no to my family that I will not cook, and now let me experience. And she continued her journey of, the 41 days. Again, within 3, 4 days, she gave me a call back and she said, "Ki, now she's actually able to go within her. And within that time span of 40 minutes or something, 15 to 20 minutes, she's able to stay in that state." You see, friends, although she's directly not eating, non-vegetarian, she's a pure vegetarian, but because she's a part of it, it was not allowing her, that was blocking her to go inside her own self. It was blocking in her meditation. So it is very important that you're just not vegetarian, but it's also equally important that you stop contributing all the ways from yourself towards an act towards non-vegetarianism. Also, I remember once Patriji, when he was in Pyramid Valley, he told it was a Women's Day and he was quoting an example and he was telling that, he knows a woman who's a pure vegetarian by her birth, by her choice, but because she is so much, dedicated towards her family that she cannot say no to her husband, and for him, she cooks and she keeps it. And now, although, her husband is no more, okay, but still she has to take another lifetime. And in that lifetime, again, the same scenario will come where the family members are against vegetarianism, but in that lifetime she has to take a lifetime again where she'll be a vegetarian, well, she'll choose a family of non-vegetarian, and she will take a stand to become a vegetarian and not to contribute in that act. Only then that lifetime will become her last lifetime. So, why I have told this is it's very important that even to make our lifetime on this earth as last lifetime, that we do not contribute towards non-vegetarianism. Being a woman, being taking the responsibility of a family, I know that many women have been non-vegetarians and they have converted themselves as vegetarians, but it's also equally important that they do not contribute anymore when it comes to choose, if it is family or, vegetarianism, it has to be vegetarianism for your own spiritual growth. When I had a situation in my life where I had to choose either my family or I had to choose the path of meditation, I took the stand and I chose the path of meditation because I know my family members will immediately leave me the moment I vacate the body. But I have to be answerable there and I have to be answerable to myself and to my next lifetimes. And I want my next upcoming lifetimes to be glorious, to be golden, to be filled with complete peace. And for that to happen, I have to take a stand here of vegetarianism, of meditation, of pyramid power, just not for myself, but also to enlighten all the people who are with me. So, friends, this is my message. Please be a vegetarian. Please learn meditation, do meditation, teach meditation to everybody, and also install a lot of pyramids in your house and also distribute or ask people to purchase pyramids for themselves because pyramids are direct gateways, direct portal to the higher worlds. So this will just not impact, change vibrations of yourself, but it will change the vibrations of your place, and thus it will change the vibrations of the entire planet Earth. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Sravya, for your wonderful, profound message on this vegetarianism, right? And thanks a lot once again. And it's really great to listen to your experiences about your life journey, your experiences about this vegetarian diet, and you beautifully explained about the karma. Like karma, whether it is negative karma or positive karma, it has to come to the fruition. Then only it gets manifested into our life. So many points, so many important messages you have shared today. Thanks a lot once again for accepting this request and sharing your wonderful wisdom, Shavya. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Sheila,
much.
calling me here. If you wouldn't have called, I would have come and I would have self invited
Your video
myself.
got stuck, Shavya.
Okay.
Okay. Hi friends, sorry for some there is some signal problem today. Yes, Shravya. Yeah.
Yes, so thank you so much, Sri Lakshmi, for inviting me here to this platform. And as I told you earlier, if you wouldn't have invited me, I would have self-invited myself, and I would have come and I would have spoken to, all the people here, because it's a great yagna that you're doing for global peace. And it's definitely a great opportunity for me to speak through all the people of your network through you. So thanks a lot. And whenever you invite, I will always come and I will always join. And congratulations for doing such a great yagna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shravya. Thanks a lot. Friends, if you have anything to share, you can share. Kalyani Patel, she mentioned, so profound. What you said, the choice you made, salute, Shravya. Yeah. So, yes, one more is your past lives is very good. Thank you so much. It's Mallikaran. And yes, friends, if you have any doubts on this, you can ask Shravya. And really wonderful, like your experiences is too profound, and really having a guru with us is very important. As you said, whenever you have any question or any doubt, you directly you have gone to Patriji and you have asked your doubts, and Patriji has given a clear cut instructions and messages to you, and it's really inspiring, Shravya. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. And one more girl, Govinda Rajan, he said, I'm fortunate and delighted that I changed on this excellent talk on vegetarianism, though only midway, but shall certainly hear it all over again. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Friends, one more minute. If anyone wants to share, you can share. If you have any doubts, you can ask about this plant based diet, my dear friends. Yes. Thank you, Shravya, once again. Your final message. Okay, you're on mute.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, your video got stuck. What was that?
Your final message.
My final message, okay, my final message to all the viewers, spread the word of vegetarianism, meditation, and pyramid power to the entire world. Our small contribution also values a lot, counts a lot here and also above. We get points here and we get a lot of points above. So be selfish and spread, don't lose any opportunity to spread the word of spirituality, of meditation, of pyramid power, and of vegetarianism to others.
Yes. Yes, Kula sir mentioned. Thank you, Shravya ma'am, for your strongest message about vegetarianism. Thank you, Kula sir. Yes,
Thank you,
friends,
sir.
we do have daily meditations, as you all know, daily morning 5:30 to 6:15 a.m. We are doing group meditation just with the intention of creating this whole world as a vegetarian world. Please do join and contribute all your energies for this great projects, so that it reach to each and every animal, and let's send love and light energies to all the departed souls of the animals and to all the slaughterhouses where animals are being killed, my dear friends. So please do join in this mission and contribute your energies. Thanks a lot. Yes. Okay, friends. Thank you so much. And thank you, Shravya, once again. Yes. And let's all connect in next session. Bye, everyone. Closing to today's call. Bye.